punched her husband, Kendu Isaacs, in the face after she thought he was flirting with the waitress.
Me, when I look at him, like, gosh, she hurts so much. She's been through hell. I love her. And I look at the little girl pictures. She's been through hell. I gotta take care of her because she's me.
When you hear the first wail from Mary J Blige, you already know you're about to take a ride through heartbreak, healing, and a bunch of damn drama. But what if Mary's catalog is more than just soulful R&B? What if it reflects something deeper, like emotional martyrdom that Black women have been taught to normalize? Welcome to the Mary J Blige curse. And if you are new here, I'm Miss Twilight Speaks, and listen, I always got some shit to say. And my shit to say today is I want to take a critical look at Mary J Blige's music and influence, and how she may have molded the psyche of a whole generation of women, and how that may have impacted Black women's perception of themselves, including the way that we viewed relationships. Now, drop a comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and let's get right into it. From the very beginning, Mary gave us Real Love, a bop about looking for authenticity in a world full of disappointments. And I think we can all relate to that. We were young, we were hopeful, and searching for something real. But it didn't stop there. Because what we were getting was the yearning of a Black woman to be loved by her Black man. Then came Not Gon' Cry, a woman who gave her all, 11 years of her life, only to be left betrayed and broken. When we look at this, we can see that this was at the backdrop of the height of such authoress like Terry McMillan and the movie Waiting to Exhale.
Raggedy bitch, you better be more careful who you pick up in grocery stores next time.
A story about 4 women, successful, beautiful, capable, but somehow the only place that they're failing in is relationships. Hold on to that thought. Then came Mr. Wrong, a whole anthem about being addicted to a toxic man that is clearly not good for her. But listen to the hook. Bad boys ain't no good. Good boys ain't no fun. It's giving, I know he's trash, but I need the pain to feel something. Now, by the time we get to No More Drama, we exhausted right along with Mary. You feel me? But here's the thing. Black women don't always get to leave the drama. We often carry it like a badge of honor. And Mary, she became our poster child for surviving the emotional chaos. Now, this is what I call the Mary J Blige curse. It's the cycle of Black women pouring everything into love, even when it's killing us slowly. We stay, we endure, we hope, because we have been told that love must be earned through suffering. Being taught that the pain makes us strong, that being ride or die is admirable. Y'all remember that joint with her and Method Man, You're All I Need? That is one of the first signs, I believe, of solidifying this thought process, that being that ride or die, choosing to invest in someone who doesn't necessarily have a future becomes prevalent in pop culture. Mary's music became the blueprint for romantic martyrdom. And while the beats got better and the hair got laid, the message stayed. I'm hurting, but I'll survive. And yes, surviving can be powerful. But what if we're tired of surviving? Let's not act like Mary didn't live this actual life. Her personal life was often as messy as the music. Unfortunately, she suffered with alcohol abuse, toxic relationships, financial battles, and the painful divorce. But through it all, she kept it raw and unfiltered. And maybe that's a double-edged sword. She gave us the truth, but never the fantasy. While Beyonce gave us Upgrade You and Love on Top, Mary gave us I Can Love You Better Than She Can. Once again, speaking from a place of what I consider to be desperation. Let's rewind back to real love. I'm searching for a real love, meaning that the people that you are encountering ain't that real deal. Okay, they're using you. They're playing you. They're playing in your face. And they know that you want to be loved, but they're using that as a tool to get what they want from you. Then it's I love my Mr. Wrong. Well, wait a minute. So the same guys that was playing in your face, now you want to love on them? Okay. And now here we are with I Can Love You Better Than She Can, because obviously if he's Mr. Wrong, he certainly has someone else in the pocket. So now you have to prove yourself worthy of love. The song was rooted in competition and desperation. But here's what makes Mary different. She never stays down. For every tear-stained lyric, there's a red carpet moment with, thigh-high boots. And listen, Mary J Blige, the outfits be outfitting, baby, okay? She does survive. She glows up. She bosses up. She became iconic in the midst of all the beef, battle, highs, and lows. But what does this really mean for Black women and the generation that she molded? And I know many of you thinking, well, Beyonce ended up the same place that Mary J Blige ended up with. Have you heard of Lemonade? Yes, I have. Trust, I get it. And I understand that there are some deeper flaws and problems in the way that Black women are treated and loved. But what I think Mary J Blige's music did was teach us to endure it all. It taught us that our endurance will pay off in the end. And I believe that a lot of that is solidified by the environments that we are in. Mary J Blige came out in the early 90s. She was introduced to us by Diddy. You see where I'm going with this? And she was plucked from poverty into stardom. So certain generational pain never was addressed before she became a huge star. Think about it. And it's the same thing with Faith Evans. The generational pain, the scars, was not addressed before they made it big. So the generational pain and scars only became amplified with access to money and men of means. You still didn't know your worth. You still didn't know how to break those generational curses. And so it became something that was commodified for the greater population. And young girls listening to this who grew up in the crime bill era, preceding the crack era, and seeing the unhealthy state of our communities and ourselves and our parents and the men that lived in them, the way we survive and stuck together is just by taking the trauma, taking the pain. And then you got Mary's sweet lullabies of I'm Going Down, even though that was a remake, to be fair, rocking your ass right back to sleep so that you can continue on the next day fighting for love. No, you weren't fighting for love. You were fighting for relevance. You were fighting to feel worthy. You were fighting for men that were possibly community peeing to sit down and see you. You were fighting to be seen. Mary J Blige was fighting to be seen.
When you don't know who you are, you can't treat yourself well. You're no good to anybody else. So now I feel like I earned the right to say I'm good for something.
And Mary J Blige, though, she's that girl. I can't take nothing away from her. No matter how flawed, she is still fierce. She is still fabulous. And she reminds us we're allowed to rise from the ashes like a phoenix and demand more. So if you've ever cried to Mary, screamed to her lyrics in the shower, or stayed too long in a situationship because it felt like a song, you're not alone. But maybe it's time we retire the curse and write a new love story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Miss Twilight Speaks, and this is where music meets meaning.